And greetings, welcome back. And I have another ABE nudge, a recent nudge that continues the last ABE nudge. In the last ABE nudge, Abe talked about the system, the world, to be in the system, in the world, but not of it. And this nudge came a few days previously, or a couple of days after the last nudge, and it continues on this theme of systems. So this is a nudge from March 22nd, and this should be, I'm recording this shortly afterwards, and it should be released on the March the 27th. So in this nudge, which is only one paragraph, I actually decided to follow it on with 3 short questions to try to clarify. So I'll mention the nudge first, and it goes as this. You see, and what we say here is so, that your systems, the ones that you are indeed in, it is but a lie to say you are out, for you will indeed be in an endless wrestle to throw away and rid yourself of something in which you cannot. You can, however, not be of it. That does not mean that you are not operating in it, but you see, it is not operating you. For you see, systems indeed do have a funny little mechanism that it always is in want of its own balance. But you see, how can you indeed know what your balance is if you are but operated by a system that indeed only wants its balance? And you may think, well, won't all these systems within systems be counteracting one another, fighting for their own balance? And you will see that it is imperative that each system within a system find its own balance, equilibrium, if you will, so that it is then harmoniously one. Not one system like what you have been taught, but individually together. But see this, your own trajectory may indeed firstly look like you are off course. Know that it is in the finding of equilibrium that does indeed shake it up, you see. So that's the nudge from Abe. And similar to the previous one, Abe is saying, look, we are in a system. We cannot be rid of it, but it does not mean we have to be of it. We are operating in it, but it should not be operating us. And then he says systems have their own funny little mechanism, is that they are often wanting to adjust themselves to find their own balance. And they are systems within systems. And there are many systems trying to all find their balance. And that's why we should think of them as not being just one system complete, but individually together. Each system is individual, but all related. And often it can seem that our trajectory, our personal self, is a bit thrown off course, whilst the system is trying to recalibrate itself. And this is mainly because we are trying to, we think we are part of the system. We are trying to, be too entangled in the system. So if there's recalibration in the system, we get thrown around a bit. But of course, if we can be in it but not of it, then we can be stepped back and not be so affected by these system recalibrations. So that is what I got from the nudge. But of course, there's a lot of talk in there about different systems I wanted to clarify. So I followed on by sending Nicola some questions, and on the same day, on March 22nd. And so the first question I asked was this. You mention systems within systems. What do you mean by system? Are you referring here to physical or human systems within our world here on Earth? Or are you referring to different reality or dimensional systems, of which our physical Earth realm is just one of them? And Abe replied with this short answer. You see, and what we say here is this. It is not so definitive, and this be that firstly, it is focus on your own reality system, for they are but, like we have said, a doll within a doll. What is imperative is that again the lids are taken off, and that does start with self, for your own system is in direct contact and entwined within this cosmic one, is it not? For they are but a relation, you see. What it is not is to not constrict or define as such, but to allow cooperative cohesion, you see. Now here, first off, Abe replies by saying, look, it's not so definitive. And again, Abe doesn't like to put things into categories and saying, well, it's not so definitive. But the main thing, the priority is for you to focus on your own reality system. And then they say, but like we have said, it's a doll within a doll. And they've used this image a lot over through all their communications. And now it's making a lot more sense when it's referred to these systems or reality constructs. That the doll within a doll, like the Russian dolls, is that you have one contained within the other of different degrees. So they said that, yes, there are systems or systems within systems like the Russian dolls, but focus on your own reality system. But the imperative is that the lid should be taken off, i.e., don't think of things constrained, that everything is contained and contained. They're all kind of entwined. And our system is in direct contact with the cosmic one, they said. And it's important that we allow cooperative cohesion. So, as if cooperative cohesion suggests that there is kind of correspondence between the realities. So, don't start to contain them saying, this is this, this is this, this is this. They're all intertwined, but our focus right now is on our reality system. But then I followed on. Bear in mind, I asked 3 questions all together without knowing. So I asked the second question before having the answer for the first question. So the second question I asked was this: is our physical realm a system in terms of being a reality construct? If so, how many more systems or constructs are there within our overall reality construct? And Abe replied, you see, this is all dependent again upon the lids you place. That defines, if you will. And it is to but allow a wider flow, a wider cooperative cohesion. Otherwise, it is but a system defined by that alone. The lid is but placed upon it, and constriction is simply within just that. As for amounts, that is but all dependent upon, again, the lids that are placed upon, and it need not be so. So again, they're saying, I'm saying, how many kind of systems constructs are there within the overall one? And Abe is saying, again, that depends on how you contain it. But don't try and put lids on it. Don't try and constrain reality constructs as so separate. They're kind of, again, they use that term, the wider cooperative cohesion. So again, it kind of suggests there are flows or movements or cooperations between these different realities, but we shouldn't try to close each one off. And it's interesting, especially at this time, when it seems like I've mentioned before, like the veil is thinning and things are coming into this realm, that that perhaps all these realities are related. It's just that it wasn't a time, or we weren't aware, we couldn't perceive the cooperative cohesion between the realities. And the final question I asked was this: you say that the systems are striving for equilibrium, and that this may seem to our perception to be of course. Does this mean that the current upheaval and dissonance in our physical earthly system is due to our system making realignments to get back into equilibrium and balance? And Abe replied, this is but true. But hear this: You are not out of it. And to state that you are, you miss the point of the equilibrium itself, for you are simply not allowing the totality, you see. For these shifts of what is dissonance is but point of place of more allowance, is it not? So that short answer is saying that this is but true. Yes, the kind of dissonance that we're experiencing is that our system is making realignments to get back into equilibrium and balance. And but we're not out of this. Um, we are not cut off from this because it's our reality. Um, and that this dissonance can also be seen as um, finding more allowance, a different point of place. So it seems like dissonance to us for now, because it's trying to realign into more allowance, perhaps greater cooperative cohesion, as Abe says, between the different realities. So there's a lot going on, perhaps between realities, but Abe is saying for us to make our focus this reality because it's what we are a part of, um, and that this realignment is causing these turbulence, let's say, um, and we shouldn't think we're separate from that, but we shouldn't be entangled in it either. We're all of us going through our realignments and our points of place to find greater allowance. So that's some of my commentaries on that recent nudge. And I will place the text below in the box so anyone can read it yourselves. So, as always, stay well, stay out of dissonance, and be grounded. Cheers.